Thank you. Oh. Props. It's hot. See? It's really neat. Not that much fun. No, I'm going to get rid of this. Thank you, Eric. I have a cheat sheet here. I'm sorry for that. I may need to look at it. I've practiced this a lot, but I don't think I've got it down entirely, so I may have to take a peek at this.
You want to speak up a little more?
Okay, I'll just come up closer to this thing. How's that? Okay. My name is Dick Socwell, as you heard. I'm a semi-retired psychologist, and as you probably can tell by my outfit, I am a volunteer. And I'm a volunteer at the Groundswell Cafe across the hall here, over the wall. When Jana asked me if I would speak today, I said, of course, I'm happy to. I have a lot to say. I'm going to not say all of it, but I'll say a good portion of it. I've spent most of my adult life volunteering for a bunch of different nonprofit organizations around the area. And my last gig was at the Lynn Community Food Bank, which is across the river here on the same street, 3rd Avenue. I was there about a year and a half, and it's a great program. They really provide excellent service for the people who really need the food. I did a lot of the loading of the canned goods into the tote bags, and then I'd carry the tote bags up to the front for the people who came. But that was just really hard on my old arthritic hands, and so I had to stop. So I stopped, and I started looking around, doing some research to find another place for me to volunteer. There are a few things I require in order to be able to volunteer. It has to be something that I believe in, but I also need to be able to interact with people. That's really important to me. So anyway, I was talking to my wife, Peggy Hardesty, which I'm sure many of you people do know her, and she had served on the board of the Greater Cedar Rapids Community Foundation, and she also read proposed grants for years. And so she told me about Matthew 25, and I had heard the name, but I didn't really know anything about it. And she said she was really impressed with their organization and their mission, and the board, which she thought was an excellent board. So I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try. So I made a call and sat down with Jessica in the cafe, and she explained to me all the different parts of Matthew 25. And she also indicated the different kinds of volunteer opportunities that would be available to me. And when she started talking about the cafe, it's like, wow, wait a minute, the cafe. See, I've had some experience with that. When I was 19 and 20, I managed a pizza restaurant back in Whitewater, Wisconsin, where I'm from. A year or two later, I was assistant manager of the largest Arby's roast beef restaurant in California, which is in Whittier. And not long after that, I was a food inspector in the Army, and I was in Los Angeles, and I would inspect anything that the Army, or the government essentially, was purchasing through contracts. So it was from sides of beef down to just roasts and steaks and fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. So I thought this is a good thing. So I committed to that. And about 18 months ago, I started working in the cafe. And I learned how to take orders and take the food to the table and clean the table and make coffee and do the dishes and basically everything except the cooking. One of the people who is not here anymore, one of the officers and so forth, I said, I think I'd like to take on cooking. And she said, no. I'm not sure why she said no. Maybe she thought I was doing enough, and maybe she just really didn't think I was going to be able to do that. But anyway, so I continued to do that. I'm also a self-taught baker. And so on the weekends, I would make cinnamon rolls and bear claws and turnovers and muffins, and I'd bring them in on Monday morning, which is my other volunteer day. And they'd sell them in the cafe, and sometimes the staff would come out and they'd just sort of sample them and that kind of thing. Well, I guess they must have liked it, because in January, Brittany asked me if I would be the Matthew 25 baker. I was like, yeah. I love that. So now I work in the back, what we call the prep kitchen. And I make lots of different kinds of things. And they are sold in the cafe. They are included in some of the catering orders. And sometimes they're part of the meals to go, which we put up here and then sell over in Matthew 25's corner store. So, you know, it gets kind of a good distribution, and I feel really good about that. Last summer, I took Thursdays off from my practice to get in here and make more stuff. The program you just saw in the, it's a youth development program. They set up to have 3 to 5 of the kids come over on Thursday morning and work with me. And so I taught them basic baking skills, and we made some good tasting stuff. We made turnovers. We made pain au chocolat, which is one of the few French things I can say, and cinnamon twists, you know, easy stuff. And they seemed to just really enjoy the process. I wanted to believe that they enjoyed it because of my bubbling personality and my rapier wit, but I had to really kind of come down to earth and realize it was probably because they're in an air-conditioned building instead of out at the farm working in the hot sun. Plus, they got to keep and eat the stuff they made. So, for whatever reason, they enjoyed it. And you know what? I enjoyed it too. They were such good kids. I mean, every one of them was just a great kid. And it kind of gave me hope for the future, frankly, that these kids hopefully will grow up and become our leaders, because they do a good job of it. I do miss interacting with all of the people in the cafe, though. You know, I mean, I am a psychologist, and talking with people is kind of what I do, but I love what I do in the back. So I'm happy, and I'm satisfied, and I'm grateful that Matthew 25 allows me to do that work. I also have a great deal of appreciation and admiration for what Matthew 25 does, and all of the people, hundreds and hundreds of people who benefit by the fact that this organization exists. It's really pretty amazing. Okay, originally that was my talk. That's where I was going to stop. I don't want to waste this microphone, though, the opportunity. You know, me and the microphone. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about something related to this, and it's giving. Giving is the issue. And I feel pretty confident that you share my belief that we need to give to those who have less, okay? Your generosity, though, is not a one-way proposition. The giver, I think, gets as much benefit as does the receiver. So, you know, our choices are driven by the values and beliefs that we have, those things that we believe make a good life for us, okay? When we make a decision that's consistent with our beliefs, we feel good about ourselves. We feel proud. We feel happy and satisfied. That's the benefit that the giver gets. And it's powerful. Checking my cheat sheet. Oh, yes. I know where I am. These are troubling times. You're not going to disagree with me on that. We're living in a difficult time right now. And sometimes it's kind of discouraging. Sometimes it's very discouraging to hear about and see the choices that some people make. Those choices that are so selfish. They seem to have no compassion or empathy for the pain and suffering that their choices cause others. And it is discouraging. But you know what? There's a lot of really good people out here. And there are a lot of people with really good values. And as a result of those values, they make generous and helpful choices. These are the people who give so that others can have a better life. They're the positive leaders, and they set an example for us. They inspire us. They're the people we want to serve as role models for our children. You are those people. And I want to thank you. That's it.